Jimmy's Jam Box. Keep jamming. Hello, everybody. Welcome to another exciting episode of Jimmy's Jam Box. We're back at it again, and we're going to get on into it. But before we do, as always, please make sure to like, subscribe, push all the buttons, do all the things. You know, I don't know what they are, but you do, and I trust you. With that being said, here's a quick word from our sponsor. The Oolong Passion Tea. A uniquely fruity blend of oolong, passion fruit, blood orange, lemongrass, and coconut. Delicately sweet and refreshing, with a creative quality to it. The Brothers Apothecary. Fine teas and remedies. All right, thank y'all so much for watching. Again, shout out The Brothers Apothecary. The holidays might be over, but they're still here. Go ahead and click the link below and go get some. With that being said, let's go ahead and get on into it. Here is today's guests.
Hey y'all, Sweet the Banana here.
Hi, I'm in the pineapple.
I'm Juicy the Strawberry.
We're sweet and juicy.
Hey.
Hello. Thank y'all so much for joining us.
Thanks for having us.
Yeah. We're going to go ahead and start at this end. Why don't you introduce yourselves individually and just tell us a little bit about what you do in the band?
I'm Juicy the Strawberry, and I play keyboards and sing and write songs and do promo and build merch boxes.
Oh, yeah.
I'm in the pineapple. I play drums and I help with lodging.
Yeah.
That's fair. I'm sweet the Banana. It's pretty fun. I play bass. I sing lead. I write the songs, produce the songs. I book us mostly.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Almost entirely.
Oh, yeah.
Other stuff too. Basically everything else.
I mean, y'all do a lot. I'm just going to put that out there now. The middle of this interview is going to be exciting to experience for sure.
Mostly child rearing.
Yes.
Is what we do.
Yes.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm excited to get into that. But let's go ahead. Let's get to know you all from the beginning.
All right.
And we'll go ahead and start at this end one more time. What got you started into music individually?
My grandma guilt tripped me. I was a big old nerd when I was a small child and my grandma wanted me to learn piano. But I didn't want to because I was a big old nerd. And then she guilt tripped me because she was like, "You would deny your grandmother the opportunity
Damn.
to pay
This
for
came in hard.
lessons." Came in a lot. And yeah, anyway, and then I was stuck. And then I kept bouncing around choirs playing. And then one day a banana came to my door and asked me to play piano for him.
Story.
Yeah.
Yeah, he lived on a farm and he was weird. He's just all these other strawberries running around. And I thought he was like the juiciest looking strawberry of the bunch. But for some reason, they had relegated him to a whole bunch of menial tasks of like cover gigs and choirs. And I was like, I think this strawberry is more capable than the general community is seen. And I'm gonna go take him out. I'm gonna make a smoothie with the babies. That's what I was gonna do.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, it was fun. And so we started playing. We started as the backing band for a variety show, the Sweet and Juicy variety show. So we'd back up various artists, and we're still happy to do that. We have a little recording studio, and we can do whatever. And so it was fun. We just back up all these different artists, and eventually we became a band, and on our own. And then the variety show died because it's this cool place called Mr. Theater where you could do anything you wanted. Like I found credit cards often in the bathroom, and I'd bring them back to the person like, "Oh, I wasn't." And I was like, "I don't care. This is Mr. Theater." So, you come in and the proprietor was rolling a doob or whatever at the bar, and you're like, "Well, this isn't going to last long, but it's a good time." And so when that place died, we just kind of kept being a band without the variety show.
Oh. Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
So we still have only found out how you got started in music initially.
Uh-huh.
What about the other two of you?
I am from Tallahassee, Florida, and there are quite a bit of churches around there, and
There are definitely a couple.
they play wonderful drums in some of the churches, and those kids. I went to school with them, and I got to see them play drums and listen to that, and it was just such a visually appealing musical art form to me, like just to watch people play. And they were twirling their sticks and crossing over their arms one over the other while they were playing the drums, and I just got really into it. And I was about 14 then, and I stuck with it and kept on playing all through college, and then started doing gigs. And here I am now with these guys much, much later than all that. And
I was going to say, yeah. When did you come into the group?
Just this past New Year's Eve. Actually.
Exciting.
So it's coming up on a year now.
Yeah. Well, exciting.
It's coming up on a year. I think Juicy and Sweet have done a little bit better job of keeping track of how many shows exactly you mentioned.
No, we haven't kept a good track of it at all. But what we did do is on our website, we take all of our upcoming shows.
Mm-hmm.
We have all of our shows are listed on our website.
Mm-hmm.
And instead of just deleting them, we move them into underneath it says past shows.
Mm.
So we actually aren't good at keeping track whatsoever. But occasionally I'll go back through and we'll count them. And it takes a long time now because there's well over 800 between me and Juicy.
I kept meaning to say by the
And
way.
this cat's got 200 with us now.
Yeah.
in this past year.
Yeah, in the past year we did 200 again. So
Make it easier. The green ones in the red section of past shows are hundreds.
Mm.
So you can kind of tally them.
oh, you blocked it off.
Yeah.
Oh,
So if you want to make it easier, I'm
magical.
telling you, these are the innovations that we.
Yeah, I think we were talking about some of those off camera too.
Yeah.
Super excited for those.
There's been innovations.
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
But all right, let's keep moving on these because I want to get to the meat of things. But we got to run through these ones because they're
meat.
fun.
Yeah.
And this next one, this is one we ask early. It's one we ask often, and it's definitely a crowd favorite. And we'll just kind of leave this to the room, whoever wants to answer first. What was the first album you ever bought with your own money?
Ding.
Beethoven's Sleepy Music. The Sleep Time Beethoven. And then the next one was Mesmerize by System of a Down. At the same time, I got Rhapsody in Blue, the Bernstein version.
Oh, damn.
Mesmerize was great. The Bernstein, not so much. I'm just kidding. It's smaller. It's like the definitive version.
When I was 7 years old, I got Paula Abdul, and I got LL Cool J, and I got EMF, and those were like tapes. And then a couple more.
Tapes?
Yeah, tapes. This is
VHS?
yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And then when the CD player came out, I remember I got Green Day's Dookie, the Best of Tom Petty, and 9 Inch Nails, The Downward Spiral.
God, 9 Inch Nails.
Yeah.
That was in like 7th grade.
You were just
Those were
coming out swinging.
First albums I bought.
And what'd you do?
When I was a kid, I got Weird Al Yankovic's Off the Deep End.
Yeah.
I had
Nice.
one of those. I had
Nice.
Yes, dude.
And I listened to it all the time.
Mhm.
I thought it was so funny, and I had a Walkman, like a little tape player with headphones
Yes.
Yep.
that my parents got for us to listen to, so that when on road trips we could kind of zone out and stuff. So I listened to that tape over and over and over and over and over again. I don't know if I still have it, but
VHS?
yeah,
Yeah, it's one of those.
It's totally a VHS Walkman.
With Rewinder on the other hip.
No, it comes with
It's
a
still a
pencil.
separate
Yeah, it just
face,
comes
but
with-
it's attached to the unit. You still have to take it out and put it in the other one, but it's all one.
Still, eventually it broke and you had to do this stupid.
Oh, that was the
It
worst.
It comes with a pencil. You just turn the
Not
pencil.
for
on the
VHS.
Yeah, not for
Just
VHS. You had to
VHS, that would suck. Yeah.
They had a thing you could put in there.
Mhm.
It was like a little plastic thing with a
It's
knob.
always weird, like if you took a VHS to the store and like they had to rewind it, like they'd act like it's this big crime to not rewind the movie first, but they had like a rewinding machine that did it in like 12 seconds.
Yeah.
It was just the bzzz, and it was rewound, and you're like, Why is this? This is like a cardinal sin in the early '90s to return a video.
And they had to get that militia of high schoolers to do something after school.
Yeah, they had to whine about something. It's like maybe that's actually what cost Blockbuster was their vicious return. Yeah, now they're just down to the Bend location.
Why didn't anyone rewind? I don't know.
All right, let's get back. We got one more foundation question. Let's get through this one. Wait. Okay, we got through everybody's.
You didn't ask me how I started, but it doesn't really matter.
He is always.
That's true.
And never will be.
He's a.
There was no start, no end. Yes.
Honestly, you gave such a strong origin story of the band, like foundationally, that I had just that
works.
It had settled in my head, but
it doesn't matter.
No, but I would like for it to be included. So
well, now that it's been included, I'll give props to mom and dad, because my mom was a DJ and my dad played bass and he still plays tuba.
Hell yeah!
So like. That was the founding. Everybody in my family kind of plays something.
Yeah, you've just been musical for generations.
No one ever asked me to. Like, it's like something I would just do. Like, when I remember, like, when I was like 2 or 3, I just used to bang. It sucked. I really sucked.
I would hope you weren't a virtuoso.
I was no prodigy. I'll tell you, I had to like really practice because I sucked. But I just like the sound of banging on things, and it makes sound. It's just cool.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
So,
it's always interesting to find like the experience for people who like grew up around music versus the people who like came into it later in life.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, I asked for piano lessons in 6th grade. I was that because I hated the band director, so I wanted out of the band, but I still wanted to do something with music. So I asked for piano lessons. But then the piano teacher, I was like, "Can you just show me how to write songs? I want to write songs." And she's like, "No, you have to play more Bach." And I was like, "I don't know. I mean, I get he's really good, but can you show me how to write these songs?" And she said no. And then I found a bass. It was my dad's. It had just been sitting in the basement for forever. And
the Rick
basement.
Yeah, the bass was in the basement.
Nice. Nice.
It's basically how it went. So yeah, I found that thing. I didn't even know how to tune it, but at least no one was telling me how to play it. So I just started whacking on that, and then I just got like fiercely addicted to that thing.
And then he made an album called Whacking It.
I did actually. It's a true story.
And the cover of it is a bass laying on a pillow on a bed with a bunch of used Kleenexes around it.
It's classy.
That's so good.
It's a good time.
It's classy.
That's art right there.
Yeah.
What was that other album you made? Baby Murder?
No.
What was it?
I had country porn,
Uh-huh.
and I made a record called Songs for Pussies. And there's a picture of my cat on the front of the record.
Baby one, Baby Chaos.
Oh, I made a record called Baby Chaos with my kid when he was little. I wanted to make all those records. I had some players on, except for Baby Chaos was the first record I made where I played everything. I mean, well, my baby helped, but he was like 6 weeks old, so he was pretty worthless, if we're being honest, in the studio. Yeah, man, he couldn't do anything.
What a loser.
Yeah, he was worthless in the studio. But the album was about him, and I was stuck at home with a baby all day anyway, so I was like, well, why don't we just hang out in the studio and make a record, and I'll have your finger like bang on stuff, and then I could, and it was
no rhythm.
It was the best age because they're so little they couldn't even crawl away, so I could put him in his little like containment unit. And like walk outside, smoke a joint, come back in, poof, baby's there. No worries. Baby's totally fine. And then we go back to recording again. And if my ex-wife knew that, she'd be very upset.
Well, hopefully she doesn't watch this.
She doesn't pay attention to anything I do anymore, so it's fine.
He's gotten over it.
No, she's actually a really lovely person. It's just, things don't work out. Yeah, so, but I would argue that smoking marijuana helped me be a better dad, because like, how else are you gonna have tummy times for 2 hours on the rug? You know what I'm saying? Like, so.
I mean, I have no children, so I can
don't do it. I recommend.
I can only trust your opinion on these things.
I recommend vasectomies.
You're not familiar with tummy time?
When you have a
Not
baby,
actively.
they just kind of roll around. They're worthless when they come out. The babies, they're not. You never meet like a 4-month-old be like, he's going to be a senator. You know what I mean? Like it's not like that.
Yeah.
So, whatever. But like you just give them love and attention and like physical contact and engagement in any way you can.
Have them play music
to get their little brains going. Yeah.
Yeah. Let them experience it early, so it just develops as part of the experience.
Part of life. Yeah. But no one ever told me to. I didn't.
Nobody prepared you for tummy time?
I was never, but I don't know. You just do life. Like, I didn't have to be told to practice either. Like, if you don't want to practice, don't practice. Maybe it's not for you.
Yeah.
People that are doing it are the people that really just aren't going to do anything else.
Yeah. Yeah. No, trust me, I get that. I get that.
There it is.
Daddy. Yeah.
All right, let's go ahead and we're going to move on to y'all as the present day. Let's get right into it. And I mean, we're going to get the really easy one out of the way. How'd you pick the name?
Is it once again related to my son? Originally, Juicy and I had a band called Knuckle Deep, in which our whole purpose was to push people over the edge. But then we realized that's a really bad band plan in terms of like making an audience that's having fun.
I will say that we were doing pretty good with it.
We attracted a certain brand of schizophrenic, and
The goal was just like, okay, what can we do to make them cause an episode here?
yeah, like what would make people really uncomfortable right now?
At that time in St. John's, when we were doing the variety show out there, it was really easy. So we were gifted with that.
Yeah, but then we're like, maybe that's a bad plan. So maybe we should try to like, our whole goal is to make people happy and have a really good time and be super entertaining. And so what name fits that better? And it's still the same thing. It's a reference to my kid picking his nose. When he was knuckle deep, he was knuckle deep, and which also could be inferred multiple ways, but
not sweet and juicy.
yes. Well, no, but I asked him once, I was like, yo kid, how's that booger taste? He goes, sweet and juicy. I was like, well, that's the name of the band, bro. Thank you for that, kiddo.
Yep.
Appreciate that.
Yeah.
You are still a minor, so I own anything that you do. And
You
and-
can't copyright the stuff.
yeah, so I trademarked it. It's been trademarked. We own the trademark on Sweet and Juicy. So.
It's his way of trading off for tummy time.
It is.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, that's at least 100 tummy times right there for sure.
So many tummy times.
So
bro.
many tummy
You
times.
don't even know how many tummy times.
Tummy time.
You just lay on the rug and kind of squiggle around. You play with your kid. You help them walk, even though they can't walk. They can't even lift their heads right at first. Like they can't. At first, they're completely worthless. Like I can't over exaggerate
Isn't part of
how
that
worthless babies are.
develop the motor?
They have
just to like roll over
They have
at some
motor?
point.
Exactly.
Like get I mean,
They literally can't
what
even
are we
roll
but
over.
machines?
They don't start off crawling. They just lay there. Like wherever you put them, that's where they'll be.
Yeah.
So you engage them as much as possible and just, hold their hands, move them around, get used to being in three-dimensional, not uterus space.
Dude, and then they trust you. Like I had like a dog trainer one time.
There you go.
And he's like, if you hold your dog's hands and they don't like jerk it away, it's totally cool.
Good to know. I'll try that with my cat.
Yeah. It's like a sign of respect.
All right, now let's go ahead
Wonderful.
and get on into it.
All right.
And
I can respect that.
Hold
It's,
my hand.
it's about a respect.
I want to talk next about y'all's writing process.
Yeah.
And this one we're going to kind of break into parts. But
Okay.
what do you do to get a song started? What does that look like when you're ready to like make a new track, or do you just like jam all the time?
For
Do you
Sweet
show
and
up
Juicy?
with stuff? Yeah. Like
Mm.
how does a new song start? for Sweet and Juicy?
Juicier, I bring in ideas usually, or sometimes from a jam. Like we'll have a little, but we haven't done that recently because we have to record an album right now, so we're not in songwriting mode
Gotcha.
as much. We need to get the stuff we've already written that we've been performing out on a record. So people say, "Hey, I like that song." Then we could say, "Yeah, it's on this record now." So that's where our focus is.
Mm-hmm.
But generally speaking, Juicy or I will bring in a song.
And there's like, we have a specific party vibe that we go for. So usually if it doesn't, encourage partying or have like a certain type of just like really basic pop dance beat, we're like,
Yeah.
because songs are a dime a dozen. You can write it, a couple tunes a day, but it's like not all of them are meant for the band. And it's like, you can personally, if you start off with like one thing in mind, you just kind of have to follow the song or else it's like doomed. And sometimes the song, even though you wanted to write a sweet and juicy song, it just doesn't. It just ends up being another
knuckle deep song.
Yeah, for real.
Yeah, and that's okay. It's okay to throw away work. Like
know-
I think the important part is to just keep doing it. So
Save it, but like,
yeah, maybe it'll,
Yeah, just don't. This is actually something that's come up a lot recently for this question, and I think everybody's either like hard. You have to do something as a style, or else, or you have to not do something as a style, or else. I think the choice to do either is fine, but I think there's nothing wrong with the choice to have like stylistic work together.
Yeah, it's like I mean, the name of the band's Sweet and Juicy.
Yeah.
It's like it's not every song should be a hate ballad, you know?
One would hope.
Yeah.
Yeah.
God. Oh my God. During the pandemic, songs that were coming out, a lot of our tunes were written during the pandemic just because we were
What else
like,
did you have
what's
to do?
the antithesis of every dirge coming out right now? You know? It's like, let's get it. Let's bring it up, guys. Anyway,
Yeah.
man.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
And-
That's basically, we just bring
And then we
Yeah,
would
yeah,
shop it. We
yeah.
we workshop them a little bit too. Like
Yeah.
you know, we'll. I'm a big fan of like lyric rewrites and rewrites,
Mhm.
and so we'll say like, hey man, you know, we'll listen to each other's demos and note each other, and just be like, hey, I think everything's working except for X Y Z, and if you clean these up, then maybe we can, you know,
Yeah.
and so and then that kind of happens again naturally in the recording process because.
Oh, yeah. A lot of the parts
I don't-
were written that
I don't feel obligated to have a record sound like we do live and vice versa.
Yeah.
I feel like if you hear something in the studio that sounds cool and it sounds good when you track it, then it sounds cool.
Yeah.
And so, all right, but that I'm not beholden to that after that.
Yeah.
It's just like making that piece of art until you abandon it, and then you know.
I love the editing process. I love it. It's like I like writing alone and stuff. Like it's fine, but like I would rather like I just bring it to Sweet. Like I started writing a tune when we were in Julian recently, and I just sent it out to both of them because I'm like, can you like tear this apart? Because I need other eyes.
Yeah.
You know?
I think that's half the fun of being in a group.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like the opportunity to have your music resonate within someone else and come out as something different than what you started with.
And that's the thing. You have to be okay with that. you
Yeah.
know?
And
Like
because it picks up a certain magic from each person it touches. I mean, otherwise,
Exactly.
what's the point of a band?
Exactly.
You know?
100%.
Exactly.
You gotta, everyone, you want to play to everybody's strengths when you can,
Yeah.
you know, musically and otherwise, and then, yeah, just whatever
Yeah.
works out.
Yeah, like even though N joined in New Year's Eve, it's like getting to adjust to his playing is like awesome.
Yeah.
Because it's like, oh cool, there's like all these different places we can go. And when we go into these long jams, because we have 4-hour gigs and we can't sing as much, it's like then it really, it's the same thing. It's like everyone's adding their own unique history, whether it's from Tallahassee church bands or from, basements in Ohio. It's like,
Yeah.
it's cool.
Oh, yeah.
I prefer it. I really do.
And then
Yeah.
actually, this next question I'm going to ask is usually one that follows another question, but I want to jump it to the front because I'd like to hear a little bit more of your experience with the band.
Mm.
And the question is usually, how has your process changed in the last year? But I would love to know your experience, like integrating into the band, and then both of your experiences with how the band has changed with his presence.
Sure.
Yeah.
I was pretty nervous to go on the road for 7 weeks from February all the way almost to the end of March. That trip helped me to grow a lot and change. And since then, I've made a lot of refinements to like just the traveling
Mhm.
process
Yeah.
alone. And now I'm a lot more organized and I feel much better about my experience on the road in this recent 8-week long tour that we did, this 8-week long trip to Arizona from Portland and through California there and back. So as far as that side of my process with the group, that's been growing a lot and things have been easier and I feel better as a result of it. Like one thing that's been helpful is these guys have been extremely tolerant and supportive of me. I'm the type of person who, like a lot of us, will learn from making mistakes.
Yeah.
And it's a drag to leave your possessions someplace and just walk away from them and drive away from them. And then it's also a drag to, leave them in some place that, like a bag that's packed up and then
In Montana.
Yeah.
Yeah.
something like that. Yeah. It's a funny joke. I mean, sometimes we're in a rush to get out of places, and I've learned a little bit more about how to I can make little kind of subtle changes over time to something to kind of get a little bit more dialed in.
Yeah.
And so that's all a little bit easier now. Musically speaking, it took a while. The process was, come on in and start playing and do the best that you can. And I had learned some songs, and some songs I hadn't. And, we over time refined them, and figured out what tempos, because in this band, where I started was listening to a metronome through my headphones that was plugged into my phone, right? And so I was in charge of keeping track of the time and playing good time. But sometimes, that would be more difficult because of the stops in the music that I'd have to do for like 4 or 8 beats. And even though these guys do have really, really good time, I would find myself like clicking the metronome and restarting it and things like that. And so then we were like, well, if only we could all hear it. And Paul said, I like that, or Juicy said, I like that idea. And we now have, I have headphones and he has in-ear monitors, and we listen to the click and can hear, the musical instruments in that as well. So that's become a very, very strong part of musical development for me over the last year.
Oh yeah, the change to being able to monitor everybody is it's so powerful. It makes such a different experience for live.
Yeah, and Sweet uses a floor
monitor?
Yeah, standard floor monitor.
It's fine because usually we play in an area to where I won't need to hear anything like his bass or his vocals in my headphones because of where his floor monitor will be. And at the same time, I don't take up, my floor monitor's not there, it's right.
Yeah, exactly.
Headphones. So
exactly.
I really, really like it. Plus it cancels the noise out from other things. I'm really enjoying, getting to work with it. And actually, something that I'm really grateful for is I have, like a lot of musicians, like a little bit of hearing loss and not having things so loud on stage.
Yeah, they double as earplugs while also controlling the volume inside of them.
Right.
Plus, he can just wear earplugs.
Yeah.
I can wear the
true
over top of the earplugs if I really need to.
Yeah.
And, but we have done our own sound at a lot of places that we've played at, a lot of bars and restaurants and things. And now we have a sub that we bring in, and so we're able to mic the kick drum, and that's brought a lot of like depth to the
that's
sound,
a huge
of course,
change.
To have that, and to have the bass, the electric bass running through there as well as the kick. So things are, musically speaking and sound wise, I don't know. It's kind of like a kid in a candy store for me. I mean, I couldn't really be happier.
It's gotten to the point where we just like prefer setting up our own sound.
Correct.
Yeah,
because it's just like because we
nine times out of 10.
It's going to be good.
Yeah,
and we know, and even if our sound in the front of the house for the audience isn't quite as good as it would be with others, at least we're getting like exactly the monitor mixes we need, which when you're on the road when you're doing 200 gigs a year, it's really important so you don't blow your voice out. Because you like if you're really having to push and reach for things because you can't hear your shit because someone's unwilling for some unknown reason to turn up your monitor mix when you ask for it.
Yeah.
Or sometimes they'll just like in the really bad cases they'll just cut it out. Like during the show they'll be changing things. Like, why are you here? Like, why you're just making the world worse with your existence in this moment.
Anyway, we have it dialed now though that. I mean, at this point, we show up and we're like, hey, can we just use our own stuff? And then we'll just give you left, right. And occasionally they'll be like, yeah. Sounds way easier than what I was going to do.
Showing up with, like, especially if you're prepared to just like give them something to use instead, they're like, yeah, if I don't have to do the work. When I was in Smooth Talk, we would show up with either the option of stereo or a 6-channel send, depending on what the house guy could do.
Now that's something that I kind of wish we could do is do sends, because then we get exactly what we need, and then they can just take control over whatever they want. But
so I'll have to look it up. But it's a rack mixer that it's each channel passes through. It's a 6-channel mixer where each channel passes through, and then also sums to a stereo out.
Yeah.
So you can adjust individual levels and like panning and things like that
Oh, on their end or whatever.
on your end. It's a single space rack.
Oh,
And you, like I said, you get channel send as well as individual send and pan.
yeah, because I've seen the rack mixers that they have now. Like they have
Well, there are a bunch of crazy digital ones.
dude. I mean, the Behringer one is like the standard now, which is hilarious. Because when I was a kid, we made fun of Behringer all the time.
Yeah, I'm still hesitant to even consider buying that
So
brand.
the XR, I used to work selling music equipment, so I'm familiar. But the XR series, it utilizes a bit of Midas technology, and Midas is a really good brand.
Midas is great. Yeah, Midas is good.
So yeah, they bought no, other way around. Behringer bought
Behringer.
Midas.
Oh, so then they
Yeah.
actually have good things to use.
They have the knowledge. That's the best I can give you.
Uh-huh.
The XRs themselves are not bad. However, in my personal opinion, Allen and Heath stuff, if you can get it,
Oh, yeah.
is really reliable and bulletproof and mostly like 100% recallable on a lot of its functions. Or the Soundcraft. The
Yeah,
Soundcraft,
Soundcraft is good.
the digital rack mixers.
What's ours?
They sound so.
I don't know. It's got a
Oh.
funny looking guy hitting a bong on the side of it.
Is it Mackie?
It
I
is.
think it might be a Mac.
Mackie is the one I was going to say. Their DL series, phenomenal.
Well, you're totally on the. Yeah, we got the deal covered.
Yeah, I used to use the DL32 as my interface.
Yeah, we have. I don't know what model it is, but it works for us. It's got
like the
it's got
22.
3 monitor mixes on it, which is exactly what we
Yep.
need.
Yeah.
And so like, and then we can even, it has enough channels on it. A lot of times if we're running sound for other bands, we'll have them on separate even channels. So we don't even
Yeah, you don't have to mess with your stuff.
Yeah, we can just leave it dialed.
I love it because then I'm just
We can run their sound too, so we can help out the other band and help them get their show together. Run, do whatever.
It's like the weirdest backline situation ever, but it works.
Hey, we're just kind of moving
Especially
in.
in punk bars.
We're moving into that space digitally. It's just like
Yeah.
technology wise.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
I know. Someday we're gonna end up running sound on a tablet.
that already happens.
It happens a lot.
I mean,
Yeah.
us personally.
No, that
I was
that a
thinking
lot.
about
That is a lot of how it's done now.
they're so expensive. Yeah, because you have to have a pro too.
No,
Like you can't just do it on like an Air.
No, you
need,
can.
Like you can do it on.
Yeah,
an
I used to run when I had the 32 channel Mackie, the rack one.
You can just do an Air one.
Yeah, that's what I used to use until I got mine that I use for here. But that's not a pro either. I think it's like a 9 or whatever.
Well, fart in my mouth and call me juicy.
Yeah,
Hey, Juice.
yeah.
Right.
Hello.
yeah.
All right,
Yeah,
but
we
we
will.
were getting to an interesting point
Okay.
of the original question.
Yes,
I want to run back to it.
Okay.
Yeah.
So we've now heard your experience
sure.
with the band, and that's awesome. Like, I really thank you for sharing that.
Sure.
That was awesome. But now I want to hear what the experience has been for you two with joining the band.
It's great. It's fantastic. We've been hoping to play with David since basically the beginning of this band, and it finally worked out that, our schedules
Mhm.
worked up, our moon cycles.
Yeah.
But anyway, so that was just like I already knew what I would like, and then it finally happened, and then it happened. So it's like, that's it,
Hell yeah.
So my experience has been solid just because it's like, finally,
Yeah.
not to say that anyone else that played with us wasn't like a killer drummer or anything. It's just that,
When it clicks, it clicks.
yeah. And
Yeah.
it's like, there's like a different, I don't know, people mesh when you're in a van for 2 months. It's like, it's just different. But anyway, so I love it. Plus David's a friend.
Yeah.
So it's like,
Yeah, they had a previous relationship.
Yeah.
More so. Like we were
Easy
aware of each
integration.
we
other,
were
but we never
married
really
for
hung out.
37 years in Antarctica.
Perfect.
They raised
Hunting penguins.
Yeah, I was gonna say raised penguins and
Yeah.
hunted them.
We farmed them for penguin poachers.
You'd be surprised what people will pay to.
Well, PETA's going to pull down this episode now.
Is that right?
Peter's gonna
That's
pull the
probably gonna
penguin
happen.
problem.
Paid us. There's the conspiracy.
Ooh. Ooh.
Peter Piper.
Hold on a second. We're not getting into that again.
Yeah, that's my experience. It's just been a joy, and musically speaking, we can go to a billion different places because David knows how to play everything. So
Oh yeah.
it's nice. What about you, Sweet?
Yeah, the current king of the pineapples is the most musical pineapple we have had,
Mm.
and it's not really debatable,
Mm.
especially if you factor in vocal ability.
The king can sing, my brother.
Yeah,
can believe it.
and like so many people will say they sing and play, but then they never like do it.
Yeah.
You know, that like they never just start jumping in. And you're like, these are places, like, it seems to me like on a chorus seems like a really logical place that maybe you should join, you know, or even just find some breaths, some air, you know, and grab a spot for yourself.
Wherever you're just chilling on drums.
Yeah.
You can make,
and
you can make words with your mouth.
yeah. Give him one of those, you know, just whatever, man. Just like something, you know.
I mean, ad-libs work in a lot of other genres. Why not?
It's the same thing. It's all, you know.
That and it's nice is he and I nerd out over metronome, so it's like we both are just like, yes.
I love that statement specific. We nerd out over metronomes.
Hi, metronome.
Man, I
love that.
I could listen to, instead of the classical channel to get to sleep, a metronome. I'd be fine with it.
What would your ideal BPM for sleeping be?
Ooh, what a good question.
6.
6. So you just get a beat every 10 seconds?
It's like a fire or like a smoke detector with a bad battery. I sleep so well when a smoke detector's battery is low.
Gosh, man, that is. Well, you know, something else that I'm, you know, really glad about with the last tour that we did I was able to help a lot with couch surfing.
That was a blessing.
You know, that's something else that that I can do. So for those who don't know, there is a website called couchsurfing.com, and there's a few websites like this as well that
That's your metronome still going.
I know. I appreciate it.
All right.
so that's
Sorry.
anyway, you get an account and you ask to stay with people by city, you know, and I send out a bunch of messages and have met some really, really kind folks who have hosted us around.
Incredible people.
And so, you know, shout out to them, you know, all of you are rad.
Between
You killed it too. Like, so this last tour, we were out for 2 months, but it was like the
4 nights.
Yeah.
4 nights in a hotel.
4 nights in hotels. That's all we did out of 2 months.
Damn.
Yeah.
It was a little over 8
Actually.
weeks too. So like, because here's the thing, other bands out there, that's one of the big things that will kill you. That makes doing what we do either possible or impossible.
Yeah.
And it's because if you have to cough up, because already the gas might be costing you $100 a day.
Yeah.
Driving this far, you know,
If you have
a van like we do.
Yeah. Some of the gigs along the way may be the putting gas in the van.
Yeah, so exactly. So you're already losing a ton of money there. But that one is unavoidable.
Yeah.
It's not something you can change.
And
It's an inelastic expense, if you will.
Yeah.
And so, but the lodging can be a little fluid. If you now it requires some dedication
And friends.
Yeah, you know, so it's friend network, fan network, and couch surfing.
Yep.
And you know, yeah, because also the other thing is you don't want to wind up crashing with some crazy people though that like want you to party. Or should we tell them about Winnie the Pooh?
No.
No Winnie the Pooh moments. All right. Well, you guys get it already. I already, you know. But yeah, we got Winnie the Pooh'd at a house, you know, and it wasn't even that offensive, but I wasn't ready for it.
Good for you.
Whatever, man. So live and learn. Life on the road, y'all.
Yeah, it's a very special thing to take a road trip and have plans to meet people for the first time and
Like
to stay with them.
Mm-hmm.
So sometimes this really does work out extremely well. I was a little nervous about lodging over the Thanksgiving holiday because so many people have other plans.
Yeah.
They're sort of, you know, committed to be traveling themselves.
But it's also a time for generosity.
That's true. That's true. And where we stayed, there was nothing could be, you know, further from the truth. I mean, our host was a complete example.
Yeah, she was wonderful.
Yeah, you said further from the truth.
Yeah,
but I knew
yeah.
You know,
Nothing could be closer to the truth.
Yeah, you know,
Yeah.
nothing could be more exemplary of that. That's what I mean to say. Yeah, certainly. So we got to make Thanksgiving dinner for them and got to show them how to play some chess. And
That's
you know,
exciting.
Yeah, it's
It
like
was
we
really-
literally showed up at their house with food and we're like, cool, nice to meet you. Gonna make some dinner.
Yep.
And then y'all cooked and it was dank.
yeah,
Big old steak.
Oh yeah.
we had a lot of really, really fun times over dinner on that last trip. some of the stuff that we do, is like eating a can of something for dinner, and sometimes we get to
So much.
go to a grocery store and make some stuff. And
Yeah.
Grocery stores, the other thing. Try to avoid eating out. We go to grocery stores the majority of days. Because like,
J.
yeah, I went through in the last tour I did. What was it? It was like at least I think it might have been 3 loaves of bread, 2 big jars of peanut butter, and several things, and like 3 or 4 jellies.
He loads
So-
PB&J.
So if I'll have like maybe not every day, but when on the road, I'll kind of like pick things and like do it. And that or like beef jerky's a good one.
Yeah.
It's a little expensive, but man, it's good, clean, lean protein.
Mhm.
And you get all this delicious nitrates.
No, I buy nitrate free. Thank you very much. I don't eat the nitrates. I just get like the ones with celery powder or whatever.
It's nitrates.
I avoid nitrates.
You can tell he's
Huge fan
100%
of
nitrate right now.
I just don't want cancer in my food.
Yo,
Not
you're
much to ask.
You're nitrating, man.
Loves
Chill.
Yeah, and I don't like palm oil in my peanut butter either. Like, why'd you do that?
Did you say that?
yeah, palm oil.
Palm oil.
Every time I like
Palm oil. Sorry,
If
I
you
lived
have
in
palm
North
oils in
Carolina
your-
for a while.
I was gonna say, if you have
Every once
palm
in a
oils in
while,
your,
it'll
in your peanut butter, it's gonna be your problem.
palm oil.
or a blessing.
Oh,
Then you
oh.
have to dig through the ashtray.
True.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
Depending on where they're at in usage.
Yeah, there's always something.
Yeah, it's always something.
You might end up smoking half ash, but it'll work.
I was more concerned about the peanut butter.
Oh yeah.
Adams is the way to go. Adams peanut butters.
But
Better.
let's keep focused on, because
Same.
the next question I was going to ask was about your most recent tour experience. Because I'm going to be honest, when I hit y'all up, you guys were like, yeah, we can do it the second week of December. And I'm pretty sure I hit you up in like October.
Yeah, it was. Yeah.
And I was just, you were so, usually I can't book out that far because it's just so, but
Thank you for making it.
I mean, it was such a specific answer that I was just like, yeah. And then after that, I clicked on the link and saw your tour. I was like,
yeah.
oh, that is literally like right. Like that is
Yeah.
the soonest they were available. So I was like, cool.
Yeah.
Cool. Like,
Thank you.
but that's immense. That's so many. Like, what were can you give us the highlights of the playing experience and like the actual like show parts?
I don't remember any of it.
They do kind of meld
Blur
into
together.
one big thing. It's slow growth over time, and you don't really notice it from as it's happening.
Gotcha.
There's certainly things that have happened that are like, whoa, we need to watch out for that.
Yeah.
And that's kind of how we've improved, is by
Okay.
looking to set ourselves up for as much success as possible. Everybody needs to hear themselves. Everybody needs to hear a degree of each other, and really it just needs to kind of be like set and adjusted if needed. But
Yeah. we need a good night's sleep. We try to take care of ourselves.
What
There's,
I'm gathering is that it sounds like this tour was very much a learning experience.
Yeah,
Like you
it
were
was-
leaning into it as like not so much like learn how to do something, but learn more.
It was definitely a lot for N the pineapple, because he just jumped aboard.
Oh,
We've been
gotcha.
ramping up for a while, and in my previous life, I've been doing this I've been a road dog.
Oh,
for
gotcha. Okay.
long. This is not Sweet and Juicy's not my first rodeo.
He was a duck.
Yeah, I used to be a duck.
Did you
in
work in a
previous life.
rodeo?
No, I've actually never been to a rodeo, but I wouldn't mind going.
Ah.
Yeah. So, but like, we're already moving at XYZ pace.
Mhm.
So he kind of had to like just get used to. So the first tour of the year, the one in February, March, I think he was mostly, and correct me if I'm wrong, you were kind of just getting up to speed, like getting on one of those little like moving things at the elevator and or at the airports, that you walk on and
The moving walkways.
you're just trying to get to the closer one and keep moving faster and faster, just get up to that.
Yeah.
And then this most recent tour, the second long tour of the year, because we also did a couple short ones up to like Montana and whatever over the summer.
California in the middle too. We did a month out. Remember that?
No.
Yeah, we did California 3 times. This
Oh, that's right, we did.
yeah, that was
So we did like a 7 week, like a month, and then a 2 month, and then like a 3 week into Montana or whatever, and through Idaho and all those.
like 2.
Was it 2 weeks? I don't remember.
Half maybe.
Whatever. And then every weekend we were in Portland, we'd pretty much just bounce around the general.
Yeah.
Maybe we'll go up to Seattle, or it's for a weekend and bounce around Seattle area,
Yeah.
whatever. So that's kind of our.
But to answer your question a little bit more, it was. I don't think this one was just the whole, because we're kind of always on tour.
Yeah.
So this one wasn't necessarily like a huge learning experience.
I think we found a groove on
I
this
think it
one.
was like the easiest.
This one was kind of surfing the waves
because
Yeah.
Dave or Sweet booked the hell out of it,
Mhm.
and
It was the best
routed
bookstore I've ever been
so
on in my
well.
life.
It's like there were like 2 days where we had to drive, like really drive and play,
Yeah.
and then the rest of them were like 2-hour drives.
Oh,
So
hell yeah.
and then
Living the life, dog.
yeah,
I
and,
mean-
like, David N did such a good job of finding housing and figuring it out that like we'd wake up and be like, should we leave at like 4? And then we'd go and drive to a gig, set up, play it, and then like crash in the same town. And it's
Yeah.
like, and we just was
Sleep in the
so
next
chill.
day, and people were super cool with it.
Yeah.
you know?
Yeah, a
Oh,
lot of
yeah.
people understood that.
Like this tour, I mean, we're always learning something because
Yeah.
what else do you have to do since it's all just
Less people wanted to party with us too, because sometimes you feel like you're letting them down because everybody's like, "Let's go to the other bar," and we're like, "We're not,"
we don't
Yeah.
because it's rude to the people, to me, for the people for the next night.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like,
You know,
it's-
burn
I
the
wanna
candle at
give-
both
I
ends.
want to give them my best for the next show, you know. And in order to do that, you know, not that fun can't be had, but be careful.
Yeah.
It's mostly just, dude, shut it down, shut the voice down, try to get a good workout in the next day.
get work done.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
send more emails.
Yeah.
One thing I'm noticing is that there's a recurring element of, I guess, self-care. You know,
Yeah, you gotta
like,
have a alone
yeah,
time.
making sure to get your rest, making sure to get your exercise, making sure to keep your mind moving with your body, not doing long stretches of driving.
I mean, sometimes it's unavoidable, but you do your best.
Yeah, majority of
I
the
s-
time being able to have it be comfortable, that can add so much
see
to the
people's
long run.
tours all the time where they're playing Seattle, Portland. That's not bad, but then they'll jump all the way down to San Francisco. So that's like a hell of a drive, like
Yeah.
9 hours, and they're playing a show there, and then they're going to drive all the way to LA, and they're like, dude, there's like literally
You pass so
40
many
million.
places,
You just
yeah.
passed 40 million people.
Mhm.
It doesn't make sense. It's like
and they party a lot and stuff. I can't do it. I'm just not there anymore.
No.
When I was younger, maybe, but I don't think I had the mental health to do it. You know,
Yeah.
it's like,
It's taxing.
yeah,
It's taxing.
I like my weed, but that's it.
Yeah.
You know.
that actually helped me a lot this trip. That was cool. But it's just because you're always talking to someone, and you're always, which is not bad. It's just part of the gig.
Yeah.
And what's nice is like now it's like our homes is actually the van, because like there was one trip. It was when we were leaving Eureka and going to Chico,
Mm-hmm.
where we didn't talk for like 2.5 hours.
Oh, it was so
We
great.
even like, because now we even have our pee breaks down, you know.
Yeah.
So like we even have our spots where we'll lean against the van so cars can't see our junk when they're you know. And it's like,
Respectable.
yeah. So like even when we got out of the car to pee, we just kind of looked at each other while we're peeing. We're like,
Yeah.
you know, and but like that,
Get right back in, out of the rain,
Yeah.
back into the car, and
Not a word was spoken.
and then
into the van.
yeah,
Yeah,
and then grip the steering wheel and then pray that we make it through 299 one more time, and then that's it.
Little mountain passes, yeah.
yeah,
God,
299.
49 between Sonora and Mariposa is the worst highway ever.
Y'all are really giving out the knowledge here on this episode.
I'm telling you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
I think now though we're gonna segue away from that
Totally.
because I'm sure there's a lot. There's always. It sounds like y'all do it a lot, which is really. I mean, as again somebody who kind of delves into the hefty track record of output, I can appreciate it. I totally get
I
it.
like work.
Yeah,
Man.
yeah. I like doing stuff. Keeping
Yeah,
my hands
exactly.
busy. Being creative doesn't hurt.
Yeah.
Nah, man.
But
better than coal mining, that's for sure.
yeah. All right, but for this next one, this is kind of like just a little more of an introspective question, and feel free to have fun with this one. But do you each have a song that like individually is like the one that just kind of gives you that one moment where you play a little bit more? You just have something where you connect with a specific moment for that particular song.
Part-Time Husband. It's my favorite song of ours to play. That was one of Sweet's tunes. Yeah.
Yeah,
Oh yeah.
yeah.
Fun one.
There's a lot of really good moments. Let's see. There are feature moments for me in the set, as well as all of us.
Mhm.
And that's fun. Stuff that there's a song called "Cigarettes and Jesus" where I get to sort of play a little bit up front and do some exhibition work, if you will,
Yeah.
on the drums.
Yeah, we often use the Cigarettes and Jesus for whatever reason to acknowledge royalty. it's got a groove that it's got these little hits built into the groove.
Yeah.
Dun, 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 dun.
Yeah, it just and so it's like, hey man, go off on that for a while, do your thing, and we'll cycle back around, and then we reference it again later in the song too. Can we break it down later in that song?
Yeah, a little bit. But remember, we were driving around and listening to the Drums, which is an album.
By Joe Jones,
drummer, famous drummer who played with Count Basie amongst many other people. Joe Jones.
Ella Fitzgerald.
Yeah. And he goes through the drum set and kind of his take on it and goes instrument by instrument and has a lot of stuff. So that set our it's a big influence on me, of mine. And so I got to do some of those things during those moments, and that's been really fun because then they started hearing where I was coming from.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was the whole thing.
That was so eye-opening. That was on the second California trip that you showed us that, I think.
Was it second? Oh, so not the most recent, the one right before summer.
Yeah, he showed us that album, and it's like, and he goes through the different sound effect instruments too on the kit and explains like the OG reasons for him.
Yeah, like where they kind of came.
Wife comes home with a rolling pin.
Yeah.
Slap.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And he was one of the first drummers to play that on the hi-hats and had the hi-hats like raised up because they were lower to the ground.
Yeah.
And then he
Long ago, yeah.
raised them up on another stand.
Were they literally just like a foot thing before? Like no one really played on them?
Yeah, didn't
Oh,
play on them as
interesting.
much. Yeah.
Yeah.
Innovators, man.
Oh, can I take your foot off of the? Yeah, it's gonna shake the thing. Sorry.
Don't want to shake the thing.
Uh,
Sorry for shaking.
So yeah, let's see.
Any
Musical. Yeah, there's a song called "Exception." I get a little solo in there,
Yeah.
and honestly, there's a lot of really cool moments to, help to sort of steer the ship of it when there's an improvised section, and it's more of kind of like building tension and building up to like a musical climax, if you will, and the kind of things
I
like
think
that.
it will. Yeah.
A lot of fun that we get to do. And then there's also the moments of just playing a straight beat and listening to everything around that. I enjoy that a lot.
Oh, yeah.
And that's something that, a drummer gets to do sometimes. And it's like, don't you get bored from playing the same thing? It's like, no.
Not if it's fun.
If I focus on what everybody else is doing, you know, and your time is rock solid, like that, and it's great, and it works, and you can as a listener groove to that. You can actually like phase out from like listening to this active drummer, and sort of get a little bit hypnotized. And
that's what it's all about, man.
Stuff. So there's some cool elements that we get to do a lot of different things in the set like that. Yeah.
So what's yours?
I don't know.
Nice.
Honestly, it varies more on the audience. Like the more the audience digs something, the more I'll get into it.
Yeah.
It's like because you got kind of asked like what'll like push you to do the extra performance. It's kind of on them. Like I try to make sure I always it's one of my mantras to always give a great performance as best I can. Do your best show. But within that, there are some variables in it. Like, we do 200 shows a year. How much voice can I really afford to lose tonight? And if they're like begging for it and I feel they need it, even if my voice is extremely tired, I'm more likely to take that high road instead of taking the lower road. And both work, by the way.
Yeah.
They both work. Like, it's one of those things. And I remember seeing like Aerosmith and being like, wow, he didn't hit anything that he hits on the records.
Yeah.
He's totally taking low roads he's making all low road decisions. But I saw him in Greensboro, North Carolina on like a Tuesday night or whatever. So it's like, I'm not sure he was given.
Yeah, it wasn't given 110% on that one.
Yeah, but like, it's weird because you I never don't give all of myself, but it's sometimes like the audience will force you to make those decisions.
Yeah.
And that's kind of cool. And one of my favorite things actually that happens on occasion is when that guy, when Juicy will be like singing something and he'll be like nailing it to the point it'll actually, and I'm supposed to be doing some backing vocals there. And sometimes it'll choke me up though. I'll be like, yo, it's like it gets emotional and I'm like, oh shit, now I can't catch my breath. It sucks. So yeah. I'm like, oh man, and like trying to get, because I'm supposed to be on support right now, and then I'll be like, but it's only happened like a handful of times when I can just like, but those are really cool.
Yeah.
That's really cool.
Well, yeah, but it's just because the audience needs it.
Yeah, it's all, once again, it's audience. You feel it from them.
Yeah, because sometimes they don't want their ass kicked.
Yeah.
Sometimes they just want to chill and groove.
Yeah.
And it's like, but it happened, and it's not even necessarily the same venue every time. Like we just recently played a rock club, and I was totally expecting to go out and play a rock set.
Yeah.
And it was 3 hours, so don't get me wrong, it's like 2 rock sets, but like that's what I was expecting, and everyone was just like, chill.
Just hanging out.
Super chill. They're just there to hang out and like listen. And
Yeah, so give them that show then. Like, we want to give the audience the show they need.
yeah, and there were a couple dancers up front and stuff, but at the same time, it's like even they were just kind of like, they already took what they needed to for the night, and so they're just feeling on that and whatever,
What gig was that?
Talent.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
that was weird because normally that place is more raucous.
Yeah,
the last
yes.
time we played there, it was like almost we had like a listening audience. Like they came in like they were like,
oh yes,
yeah, and I was like, wait,
Boy.
why aren't you guys on more mushrooms? What's going on?
It was like, I mean, they were. It was shark eyes still, but
Yeah.
it was like, I don't know. But anyway, it just depends the audience, and the weather does it, and it's like, so you'll go out for a Tuesday casual gig, and then there's like someone in the front row that's like, I want you to break my face with your music, and you're like,
All right, here we
if
go.
you insist.
Yeah, exactly.
sorry everybody else.
Hell yeah.
But yeah,
Hell yeah. Well, thank you for going through all that with us.
yeah.
No problem.
All right, now we're going to go ahead and we're going to move on to some hypothetical questions.
Great.
Oh boy.
And these ones, sky's the limits. There are no wrong answers because they're all made up. But for this first one, if Sweet and Juicy could play a show with any other act, who would you want that act to be?
Phil Collins. I'm just kidding. No, not even.
Oh, damn it. I was like, I'd watch that.
Only if it's on South Park's Phil Collins Hill,
Fair.
while they have South Park Phil Collins with his Golden Globe.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Well, Prince is dead, and I terribly want his approval, but I'm never going to get it. So that's out.
Valid.
The Queen does.
I think we would pair up well with Ween. I think we would make someone like Ween would be a really fun show.
That'd be
could-
killer.
If we could pair up with Ween.
Or
Or
live show's super different too.
yeah, that, or one of my all-time favorites is Beck throws a hell of a show. And but like he alternates albums though, so we'd have to catch him on a tour where he's doing the funky thing, not like the sad, depressed
Yeah.
thing.
Fair.
You know what I mean? He kind of like bounces. He'll oscillate between those, and so we'd have to catch him on more of a Midnight Vultures mood rather than like a sad Beck mood.
Or
Fair.
P-Funk.
P-Funk. Oh my God,
I'd love
Yeah.
to
that would be
support-
yeah. That'd be That's
Who would you pick?
Weird Al.
Dude, yes.
Yep.
it's a hell of a band.
Yep.
Weird Al.
They're so
100%. I really hope that we can do it sometime.
His cellist lives in Portland.
So cool.
Yeah. That's a very small degree of separation.
good. Yeah.
I knew her from way long ago, and we actually bumped into each other. And
Hey, cellist that lives in Portland.
she's
If you're watching
so cool.
this.
She's friends with Rochelle Cochran.
Oh, cellist that lives in Portland that's friends with Rochelle Cochran and plays for Weird Al.
Yeah,
You got her number. It's
They do.
696969
there you go.
69 asterisk
Extension 1.
pound.
Extension.
I mean hashtag.
All right. And then,
Of course,
yeah, you said Weird Al. Sorry.
George Clinton as
Yeah.
well would
Yeah.
be incredible.
Yes.
Shout out to Danny and Sean.
I think that would be the only person I would ever be like, I don't know what to say to you because you're cooler than I am. I don't understand what I should do in this situation.
I had that situation.
That was a different situation. That's a story we can't tell on here.
All right. Then we'll go ahead and move on to this next one.
Yeah.
If you could perform anywhere in the world, and you didn't have to worry about crowd access, building stability, power, guaranteed great lineup, guaranteed best show, everything would work, where would you want to perform? And it doesn't have to be a venue. I feel like you have an answer ready.
No, I just have so many. Oh my gosh.
I have an overarching one. I don't like the cold. And I would just like to never be anywhere that's under 75 degrees again for the rest of my life.
Okay.
If I never saw snow, I wouldn't care.
Yep.
You can have it. You can have all this. So if we could just go somewhere that's 75 to 80 degrees and nice dry heat too, not too moist. So like eventually it'd be nice to do like Christmas in Australia or South America. That would be
New Zealand would be fun too.
sure, whatever. Somewhere that's not cold.
Yeah.
And so that's like long-term goals is to never. I could do Alaska in the middle of summer.
Chicago in December.
No,
Yes.
no. I grew up in the Cleve in the middle of. I don't want to go.
Toronto in the winter.
Yep.
No, worse is
Have you heard of Iceland?
Yeah.
Quebec.
Heard of
Quebec
that.
is worse.
It's very green, but it's so cold.
That'd be perfect.
I'm never gonna go there. Like people are like, do you want to see the Northern Lights? I'm like, no, that means it's cold out. Please get me out of here.
I think that's not necessarily true. It's probably true.
I don't know when they happen. Somebody
Probably-
Google it. Put it in
Probably
the
too
comments.
cold. I see people going to Iceland to see their Northern Lights, and they're all like happy, and they're like, bunt. No, I'm like,
Like Alaska in the
Nah,
summer
dude,
is
yeah.
super, super cool. It's like warm and stuff. But at the same time, their their state bird is the mosquito.
mm.
So like anywhere you go, it's just like, oh, this
Yeah.
is what hell is.
Yeah.
Like a
A
13.
lot of standing water.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And bears.
Oh, wait. Are bears and mosquitoes correlative, or they're just
are-
also a lot of bears?
Oh, I thought you just meant because there's like a 7-to-1 ratio of guys to girls there, so there's a lot of bears.
I know my cousin just moved up there, and she's a flight attendant living in Anchorage, and
Well, she's got options.
Mm-hmm.
She's got options.
Get a burly man.
They just the population of women just tripled now for her moving there.
I don't know if it's so real. Where would you play? Florida. No, I'm thinking.
Have you heard of Boca Raton?
Yeah.
It's like a residency would be cool, so you don't even have to move. If you just played like let them come to you, I
Like
really
this
wouldn't mind
year.
that.
Oh my god, I would hate.
I was thinking Antarctica would be particularly
Not gonna happen.
chill, but
Waka waka.
well, we're going to be going to my hometown coming up in a few months, and I'm just so stoked for that to play there and to visit with some friends and family and get to introduce these guys to them. So a hypothetical in this case is like it's a reality.
It was on the Make-A-Wish Foundation list, and so we put a lot of energy into setting up a tour all the way to Florida for next year.
Those kids are gonna have to wait.
Yeah, bummer. Your Make-A-Wish is probably gonna happen too, buddy.
Yeah, we can't talk about it.
Sure can't. Sorry, guys.
I think my two are really mellow. There's like two corners of California that we haven't played yet, and it's Lake County, north of the Bay Area, south of like Healdsburg and stuff. I want to play there, and then I also want to play the Salton Sea.
I think we are playing Lake County on July something. It's like Lakeport.
Is it that far down? I'm talking about where Joel plays and stuff. Because like Lake, it might actually be
It's like up by that whatever, not by Whiskey Lake, but somewhere up there.
Whiskey Town. If it's up that far north, it's not the one.
That's not the one you're thinking of.
Yeah. 'Cause
Sorry.
it's fine.
Sorry.
And then Salton Sea is where. Are you hip to Salton Sea?
It's very toxic.
No. It's not even that. It's like there's like a community of like outlaws out there, and it's basically Burning Man every day of the year. Except it's unbearably hot. So I guess it's also like Burning Man in that way.
Or at least you're burning, man.
Heyo.
And we've driven past Salton Sea. It's like, I think it's still in San Bernardino County, but it's like way out of the way.
Yeah.
It's like on the way to Arizona in like an impossible area. And
very rugged area.
yeah, and it's desert. It really is.
And they polluted the hell out of that Salton Sea. So it is so toxic.
People live there and they party and stuff, and they have an outhouse or two, so that could work.
For drinking water.
I think they just make shine for that.
At that point, that's probably what you should do.
But anyway, it's like a community of like art outlaw people, and they've been there for a couple of years or whatever, just in trailers and making weird art projects and stuff. But they're just
the most out there folks. And it's like the one like that and Lake County and whatever, that's it. I want to play there. And then we've played every corner of California.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, it's just personally. What would you do?
Oh, I was trying to think about this the other day.
Ronald McDonald House in New York.
Don't say that.
I want to do I would love to do an episode at the Sydney Opera House.
That's pretty dope. Yeah, get your show on there.
Yeah. Before that, it was Madison Square Garden. I would love to do.
Yeah.
I would love to do some kind of like showcase and interview with the big old circular stage. I think that'd be an experience.
It's a circle.
Yeah.
Can be.
Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah. But no, I think the Sydney Opera House would be a really interesting one for sure.
Baller, I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah. All right. Now, this last one, it's one we kind of skipped earlier because I wanted to put it more at the end. So before we actually wrap it up, this is not actually a hypothetical question, but this is more of a philosophical one, I guess, or an internal one. But we talk a lot about the experiences with music, the things that we've done with music, what happens with it and during it. But what does music give back to you as the individual?
So much. Music as a there is a wonderful book that comes to mind that's called The Music Lesson by Victor Wooten.
I actually gave that book to my mom for Christmas a couple years back. Yeah,
wonderful gift.
Phenomenal book.
Yeah, and that book helped me to realize more of the gifts of music.
Yeah,
and there's a lot that comes from being able to work at something and have dreams around being able to do something and go forward with that. But there's for me, I feel like we're playing some cool stuff. But it feels great to smack things with sticks and be creative with it at the same time, and maybe even make something beautiful.
Hell yeah.
At times that happens. Yeah, and I love that music is so broad for so many different people. Lately, I've been really enjoying classical music and fugues, Bach counterpoint fugues, and it's helped me to focus and kind of calm down at the same time. Then I like the fact that I can put something on. Like today, I wanted something. I looked up music to clean to, and just was not really so into that, but put on the lo-fi, and then I was like, okay, this is perfect for me right now. And so it's nice to have these so much music at our fingertips as well, on the phones and everything. That's pretty cool in a lot of ways. But yeah, it's a wonderful experience to be able to play drums and in a band. And when I was younger, I dreamt of making it my job, and so this is very close to that. I mean, it is my job. I don't have any other job right now, but making a living off of it is what I mean. And so the first step to that is making it a job, I think. And so it's been cool in that way too.
Hell yeah. Thank you for sharing that.
It's been my livelihood for the past. I haven't had like a real job since the aughts. So, and I was doing a lot of music before that. So it's just kind of like, it's at this point, it's like the line between music and me is not even really there. It's just kind of what I do. And once again, it's never something like, no one ever tells me I need to go practice. It's just, I wind up with the bass in my hands most days.
Yeah.
And by most, all of them.
Yep.
So at some point, I'm probably going to be on that thing. maybe occasionally on the road, I'll have a day off when I won't play the bass, you know? But like when I'm home, never.
Yeah.
Never. And yeah, I'll always be I'm always like working on stuff. And so like Music 04, it's like the ultimate video game in a way. There's always like another level.
Mhm.
There's another mountain range to climb. And after a while, you can't even like you have to realize you can only do one mountain at a time to
Yeah.
really get it. And so you have to realize there's more out there than you're ever going to be able to possibly get to in one lifetime. And so you have to start to like identify, well, what elements do I want to pursue within that? What's going to work not only just for me, but then like I also do want to eat.
Mhm.
Like, 'cause I've really grown accustomed to it, you know? and so
Go on.
yeah, so I so there's a balance there.
Yeah.
You know, and I remember asking my pops when I was a kid, like, "Hey, Dad, do you like your job?" He goes, "Yeah, I like my job. I got a good job." And he had a good job. He's electrical engineer and blah, is very secure, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
And I was like, yo, but like what percentage of the time while you're at your job would you like be doing that for free? You know?
Yeah.
And he's like, I don't know, maybe 10 or 20%. And I'm like, damn,
That's not a lot.
that's not a lot.
Yeah.
You know, like I want to get that. And I feel like generally, like I kind of like driving.
Mhm.
I like road trips.
Mhm.
I'm okay doing that part. That part doesn't bother me.
Yeah.
I like new scenery, like all that, you know, like the things that music, like not even counting the things that music has given me in terms of like lifelong friendships and acquaintances
Yeah.
and just views. Like when I get to die finally and life flashes before your eyes, I'm going to get like to see all these mountains and all these rivers instead of a cubicle.
Mhm.
And I don't know what the price tag for that is, but it's a good one. And so like not even counting all the friendships and all that, it's just like just in terms of like livelihood. And so like yeah, like maybe I have my percentages probably closer to 40 or 50% of the time when I'm working on stuff. I'm like last night we were cutting some stuff. Whole time I would have done that for free.
Yeah, it was a blast.
Oh, I would have done that. I would have done that for free.
Blast,
Yeah.
yeah.
You know, and I've been doing the same. Like so, it's like same me as ever since I was like 15. You know, I was like, "What are you doing?" "Oh, I'm gonna go be playing bass and cutting stuff somewhere."
Mm-hmm.
You know, like sit in the studio, and over the course of my life, I've accumulated a full recording studio, and so now I can just
Do it.
do it, and with no excuses. Oh, you want like a high end tube mic? Here we go. If you want like whatever we need to do, I am no longer limited.
Yeah.
And that's a really big blessing, and I'm thankful for music for doing all that. So.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Thank you.
I was gonna make a joke, but I'll answer honestly.
Gotten me laid like 4 times.
Yeah.
20 years.
Dude, what a privilege.
Yeah.
The thing I think about, I try not to philosophize about music because it's just like, what, why?
Yeah.
You know, it's like you just kind of do it. But the thing that I often think about, just in terms of mental health, I think about like people that don't necessarily have access to like mental health professionals,
Mhm.
like counselors or therapists or whatever, and have such a tight schedule in their lives where they're not able to pursue mental health really profoundly,
Yeah.
you know? There was a time where my schedule was that tight.
Mhm.
And after playing, you know, because instead of like making a journal entry or,
Yeah.
you know, I didn't have health insurance because America, but I would just write a song about it.
Mhm.
So I would just take the things that were in here that were bugging me, and I would just literally just take them out and put them to a song and on a page and stuff. And after I was done with the super tight schedule, you know, and everything, I was looking at progress that I made, you know, just on my own
Yeah.
inner workings and stuff. And I was like, how the hell does anyone do this without an instrument?
Yeah.
You know, it's like, you know, I literally don't know. Or like, you know, painting or,
Yeah.
you know, writers or whatever, although Bukowski was never mentally healthy. But,
Well, before you run away from that, actually, I happen to be wearing a Marowolf shirt.
yeah.
One of them, I forget which one said it, I apologize, but one of them said they took those feelings and they turned them into something useful.
Yeah.
And that just resonated with me, and it felt kind of correlative. I wanted to share that.
Well, I wouldn't even say it's useful because
Or like
a lot of
made use of
something.
it. Yeah, made use of it. Like instead of just like letting it fester, you kinetically change the energy into something
100%
creative.
Or even if you're still stuck with that negative energy, at least you built something. At least you didn't just do nothing.
Yeah.
Like,
and even like not even looking at like the, because music is such an ethereal, non-physical thing anyway. It's basically aloof and in the air. And so it's like, but even the process of, like lyric writing, okay, you need to find rhyming stanzas that work with the melody that you did. And so then instead of your, just irreverent kind of down thoughts or whatever they may be personally, what you've done is you've made a puzzle out of it. And even though you're not necessarily working through the issues, you're technically working on them. And to not have that sort of outlet, I just can't imagine it.
Yeah.
So I would say that probably these days, not so much just because it's, you get to a point where you're just like, doing, but, and just doing work. But during the times when I was working on mental health stuff, it was basically entirely through music.
Yeah.
And, that was profoundly helpful. Yeah.
I really appreciate the perspective. Thank you.
Yeah. I don't know.
Yeah.
Strawberries.
All right, y'all, we're going to go ahead and start wrapping this up. Why don't you tell us what you know what? I'm sure you have like 2/3 of the year planned already, but what can we expect from like the first quarter of 2024?
How's that album coming?
we're working on a new record called Sex, Drugs, and Fruit. We're tracking as much as we can on our day offs.
I swear to God, okay. I swear
we're going to work on it tonight too.
Yes, we
We
are.
already promised.
Keys track night.
Yeah,
Ooh,
keys
exciting.
tracks.
Yeah.
Going to track some more keys. So we're working on Sex, Drugs, and Fruit. We're going to bounce around the Pacific. We're actually taking our annual vacation. After the New Year's Eve show, which will be down in Ashland for. But after that, we have like 2 weeks off.
Nice.
That's when the band takes its break. It makes the most sense for the performing year.
Yeah.
Nothing happens.
Nothing happens after New Year's. Everybody just blew their wad.
This isn't canon, but
So
I might take a break.
Speaking of mental health, we're all gonna have a couple week break to go do whatever people want to do.
Nothing.
Yeah.
Nothing. Do nothing. I'm probably gonna do not nothing. I'm gonna work. But I'll also do some nothing.
Coincidentally, the last Friday of this month is episode 400.
There you go.
So,
Yeah, man.
thank
man.
Thank
You gotta.
Yeah,
those
so-
milestones are fun.
Yeah.
Very cool.
So a good opportunity to take a little break, refresh some things for 400 through 500, or 401 through.
Yeah, and then so we'll bounce around through January after like just the back half of January, and then starting February 1, we're going on spring break, and we're gonna drive to Florida.
Nice.
And by way of San
And so it
Diego
begins.
and all the places in between, and that should take us that's gonna be our longest tour as a band yet.
Yeah.
And actually one of the longer ones I've been on in my entire life too. So it's
been on a 3-month, 3-week tour before.
yeah, that's lengthy. Especially the way we do it. It's not just going to be like 2-3 gigs a week. Hopefully, or we'll die because we won't have enough money.
February is already looking like it's not gonna.
February actually just signed. It's pretty much done. February's booked up.
February looks great.
I'm working on some. We might play South by Southwest. I don't know if we'll find out. I actually am not super hopeful, and I actually don't care if we get in or not either because it's whatever. But
There's so many things happening around South by Southwest when it's going on, though.
I don't know. I don't even know if I want to do the mess of it because it's not going to pay us any money. If I'm being deadly honest, like I don't care.
Yeah.
I just want to pay the boys. So, but it just happened to like literally work out with the timing. Like we're going to be driving by there anyways.
Yeah.
So I'm kind of waiting to see if we get in. I did not opt for the passes. Actually, I was like, "No, you can pay us." They gave you the option. So I think they're not going to let us in on that alone because they're like, "We want you to do
They want you to pay.
They want you to do the whole experience stuff." I was like, "I'd rather actually just have the money, thanks."
Yeah.
I've done it enough. Anyway, so that's going to be the first quarter of next year is all going to be on the road essentially, except for January, which will be somewhat on the road. We'll be on half of it. Will be a vacation. Then we'll just be bouncing around the Pacific Northwest up to Seattle.
Yeah.
Some of that stuff.
Then we get back late May.
And then hopefully continue working on said record. And if we could get it out before next Christmas, that'd be great. And then I'd actually like to go into new writing mode again, because I have a lot of ideas bouncing around, and but I'd actually like to, assuming everything's going well, I'd like to do some of them with the band, where I'll just say kick a beat, and here we'll start with the tempo, start with and an emotion in mind, or something like that. And then just
sex or drugs.
Yeah, sex exactly.
But all fruit.
Oh yeah, exactly. So the kick a beat, lock in on something. The kick drum and the bass drum should be simpatico, and get your whatever groove it is going, and then start writing, because grooves write songs.
Yeah,
often.
We haven't written like that yet because we haven't had a rehearsal yet.
We haven't had a rehearsal in over a year.
Well, I mean, with how much you've played, you kind of don't
exactly.
Like when you're playing more than one would actively practice, it's fine.
Yeah, that's what we thought.
Yeah.
Sorry. Can we just get paid instead of?
Yeah.
It's way better that way. I'm not really a fan of rehearsals in general.
I think if enough time passes, it's good to have. But I mean, it also sounds like you all kind of play. It's like regularly enough in your own time.
And that's the thing. Like when I go to a rehearsal, and I come in there for whatever off gig that isn't with this band, and I come in there and I see people learning the song, I'm tempted to just leave. Yeah, because I'm ready to play when I come to a rehearsal, I'm ready to play the gig. Mm-hmm. I'm just tightening things.
You're just running.
I'm just making sure it's smooth.
My favorite is like phone up to the ear between the bassist and the guitar player.
Oh man, man. Why am I here? I do my homework. I came prepared.
Yeah.
And
charts.
I charted it all out. I'm ready to do the show.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And I expect a certain level of professional. Like, I don't know. I've been doing this for a living for a long time, and I prefer to work with others that are in the similar mindset.
That's why the band exists.
Yeah. No, I get that.
Okay. Yeah, that's why the band exists.
Oh, yeah. All right. Now for this next one, go ahead and look straight at the camera and tell everybody how they can find you.
sweetandjuicymusic.com or Juicy.
At Sweet and Juicy Music anything.
Yeah.
Like Facebook.com/Sweet and Juicy Music, Instagram.com/Sweet and Juicy Music. Our handle is just at Sweet and Juicy Music.
If you want to send us money, though, on Venmo, you can just send it to at Sweet and Juicy.
Thank you for saying that.
I just throwing that out there. I never do that, but I thought I'd give it a try.
We have a Patreon. If you sign up, I'll post something. How about that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh.
And of course, all of our shows are posted on our website. So if you want to come out and find us in person at any of those places, we'd love to see you.
You can find all of our socials through there too. The full schedule, some video links, all the things are at sweetandjuicymusic.com.
Yeah. If you want to email us, it's sweetandjuicymusic@gmail.com.
Boom.
Hell yeah. And then any other plugs, any other shout outs, anybody else you'd like to put on the show while you're on here?
Joel Martin rules.
Joel Martin rules. Let's see. Have you had Mr. Vale's math class in here?
No, but I think I've reached out to them.
They're awesome.
I like that. I like them a lot. He's a great dude, and I like. I'm a big fan of. Now they're slipping.
They're in Eugene and need tie dye. Diana Evans is killing.
Yes. In fact, I'm not wearing it today, but I have some Diana pieces.
Picture this, but better.
Murphy's Irish Pub.
Yeah, it's a good spot down in California.
Great.
That whole town is really kind of special. That little town. We tend to prefer the little towns over the big cities when we play out.
More intimate. I feel like that compliments.
Yeah, and they're there for you.
Yeah,
and they're usually chill. It's like they're there on purpose, and so they're like,
they're for the music, not just there to do something.
I mean,
and they have a sense of humor too.
Yeah.
Like often people we can joke around about pretty much anything on stage in those places, and they're like, you're just being funny. It's not. They don't take everything like it's a personal affront. You're like, dude, I'm a banana. I don't know.
Yeah,
I don't know if you.
My opinion was moot when I.
Exactly. Like, what are you worried about? Like, we're here for fun, man. Like, please have as good of a time as you possibly can. So.
Oh, yeah.
Or don't, but make us think about it. Please tell us your opinions while we're playing.
Hell yeah.
Anyway, sorry.
No, you're good. All right, now we've got one last question to go.
Cool.
But before we do, I'm going to steal the camera for just a second.
Yeah, do it.
You're going to be stolen.
As always, y'all, please make sure to like, subscribe, push all the buttons, do all the things. I don't know where they are, but you do, and I trust you. And one more shout out to our sponsors. Brothers Apothecary. Make sure to click the link below. Go get you some. But with that being said, the final question. And this is entirely up to your interpretation. But what is an album that you feel is more on the obscure side that you think everybody should know?
Andre 3000's new album.
Well done. Interesting. Very.
Oh man,
I know.
it's not obscure.
I was gonna say, yeah, that
It's not obscure.
everybody
Are you
is
sure?
viscerally aware of that album.
Obscure?
Yeah.
There's a
It's
band
like-
called Obscurely. No, I'm totally joking.
There's an album called Files de Kilimanjaro.
Oh,
Miles Davis. Miles Davis. Yeah, you might not have heard of that one, but that's a pretty enjoyable one to listen to. It's got Dave Holland on bass, and
one of my favorites.
kind of around the Bitches Brew
Mhm.
era.
Oh, you were talking about that.
Yeah, that album doesn't get as much. On that same note, it's like the Herbie album. Everybody listens to Headhunters, but I think Thrust is the real winner when it comes to funkiness.
Yeah.
Obscure albums. Oh, I do this all the time. I'm not sure how obscure it is, but not enough people know about the band Jellyfish from the early '90s. They were the band that should have been more popular in a lot of ways, and they have a near perfect record called "Spilt Milk," and it's just really great from front to back, man.
Really
Killer vocal harmonies. If you like Queen, you'll like this band.
Oh yeah.
It's not too obscure, but she's still indie. And I forgot my other one. There's like occasionally in like, because now rock is like rock
Mhm.
genre for, the charts and stuff. And indie is actually getting some of the, like folk in particular, folk genre is just exploding with cool stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And there's a South Korean band that I'm forgetting the name of right now that put out an album. And it's just some guy, and it's like some of the best produced stuff ever. It won like the South Korean Grammy for folk music, so dig it. But anyway, the album I'm going to actually say is Madison Cunningham's album, Revealer.
Yes,
That album is ridiculously good.
I was listening to the Hospital song on repeat the other day.
So good.
That Hospital song is so good.
Oh
it's
my
it's
God.
dumb good. A couple other acts that I really liked this year. Was it Lewis Cole? Everybody knows Lewis Cole though,
Yeah,
but like I was digging on Lewis Cole and Upsall. She's really great. I love her pop sensibilities.
What was the pickle song?
Oh, Cowbells. Cowbells.
Cowbells.
Cowbells spelled Kalbells, and they have a song like "Every pickle has a wing." It's so good.
Really
it's so good.
And if you go to their spot, if you go to the it's Kalbells. It's just Cowbells, and they're New Yorkers, and it's like a synth, like a indie pop group with like really liquid, lush vocal stuff.
I'm not sure how great they'd be live, but their record is.
It's not as great live, but because they don't play that much, it's not their fault. It's just they don't play out much. Okay, here's the gem. Here's the obscure part. Okay, go to the playlists that the singer from Cowbells started
Mm-hmm.
on their Spotify. It is the weirdest music that you will ever hear. Like I swear to, it's like just how. How did you find it? It's almost like someone's just like, hey, you want some garbage? And she's like, please. Is it electronic? And they're like, probably. And then she'll just add it to the list. Like the playlist on the Cowbells, it's so funny.
I'm definitely
It's
gonna have to check it out
awesome.
now.
It's so weird, man.
Hell yeah. Hell yeah. All right.
Every tune,
all good records.
Gristle tune or something. Anyway, yeah.
Hell yeah. All right. Well, thank you for that.
Thanks
Yeah,
for having us on.
Of course.
Thank you guys so much for
Thanks
being
for having
here.
us on the show, man. Appreciate it.
I wanted to.
The mint tea was delicious.
Oh, thank you.
The mint tea from the Brothers Apothecary was absolutely delicious.
You heard it here
Stunning
first, y'all.
stuff, yeah.
And yet, before y'all go, I do just want to share the original way I tried to reach out to y'all.
Yeah.
So before we go, when I was in my old band Smooth Talk, I actually reached out to these guys to try and get them to play a show with us when we were playing, and then COVID happened. So this is extra special for me because I had always just kind of wanted to. I really enjoy your music, and I've wanted to share space with you for a while. So thank you guys so much. I really appreciate
Yeah,
it.
thank you for meeting with us and being really cool. And you're gorgeous, by the
Oh,
way.
thank
I
you.
was watching you do the promo stuff, and I was like, my God.
Well, thank you.
It's like when the Lions held Simba up. Like, just as magical.
Here's a man who takes care of himself.
Yeah,
Oh, thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah, thanks you, man.
All right. And with that being said, this has been another exciting episode of Jimmy's Jam Box. I'm Jimmy.
Oh, I'm Juicy the Strawberry.
I'm in the pineapple.
I'm Sweet the Banana, and together we are Sweet and Juicy.
We're signing off. Later, y'all.
That's a wrap.
This is not a podcast. This is a show.
Keep jamming.